hip hop soul in the crowd react.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. It is the Rob and Stu Show here on the Pulse Sports Network. Roberto, we're back. Tough times.
Unfortunately, this wagon is on one wheel. It looks like planes, trains, and automobiles right now. When the Eagles look like when the car lit on fire and they're driving it down the highway headed to Tampa Bay. It is horrific.
I thought you were gonna say when John Candy's sitting there and he's eating the chili dog and smoking the cigarette.
Yeah, no, that'll be yeah. We'll get into it later, but
this has been a horrific last month of football for us. I mean, dead.
The last time I was happy watching a football game was halftime of the Super Bowl, and I've honestly been dead ever since.
Well, your wife almost murdered you at the end of that game.
Yes.
I remember. Well, you joined me to sleep on the couch.
My poor wife has had to suffer with me. I don't even know why she stays with me, to be honest with me, because I got to tell you,
I think you fund her gambling habits, so that's
yes.
And you work a lot of overtime, so it hooks her up.
She is a big craps player. She loves to gamble too, but boy, she's perfect for me because she'll be like, "Oh, it's sports. Relax, let it go." You know what I mean? You know me.
No, it's just hey, Rob. It's your entire existence and being and self-identity. Just let it go. It's not a big deal, Rob. It's just the meaning of you being happy. Just let it go. You don't need happiness.
Like people might think I'm normal, but the first time my wife ever really came over my house and everything like that, like where I grew up and everything like that. Like I am basically, if you've ever seen Fever Pitch, I am what's name's character from Fever Pitch.
No, that doesn't do it justice. When we're sitting out, I had to tell one of my coworkers this week about the story of Bombs Away Bob. We're having a family meal, but he's off in the corner at the end of the table in the middle of the street listening to Boston College postgame.
And this is how I grew up. This is how the football is life. Like that's how you grew up. Like we're not messing around here. This is very serious. I mean, me and my father talk every day. I mean, for 45 minutes a day, it's Rutgers and Eagles talk. It's not,
and then another 15 minutes on horses.
Indifferent, yes, and that's how I grew up. I mean, my family vacations growing up were like, okay, we went to a sporting event and we went to a horse track. Like that's our events, man.
Speaking of, we'll get to that. We'll bring that up later in the show. Coming up today, NFL picks for the weekend. We'll get you squared away because somebody is going to be at one of the NFL playoff games. Before we get into that, let's wrap up the worst college football season I can remember in years.
Oof.
No winner in the national championship. Hate to see that happen.
Some say tainted. Some say forever an asterisk.
Some say wait a couple weeks. Look, I'll give this to that war criminal team. A really good team. Didn't need to cheat. They did, but really good team.
By accident. No, it is a really good team.
And both those lines are really good. The linebacking core is really good. The secondary is incredible. That Michigan secondary, Will Johnson is an absolute monster. He's gonna be a top. You know, I hate corners. Taking corners early in drafts.
Yeah.
Will Johnson.
Hey, Jeffrey Okudah, you nailed. You said Jeffrey Okudah would be a bust.
Will Johnson's worth a top 10 pick.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes out, he's a stud.
Their tackling was incredible last night. Really was.
Penix, I don't know what to say about it.
Not a great game. Draft Twitter now has him in the 7th round, which,
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll shoot
Yeah,
back up.
that's a
Listen,
huge fall.
if it's funny, even though Michigan was the winner last night, like if anybody would tell you they would take McCarthy over Penix, they're smoking crack cocaine. There's no way. I still think Penix
I saw
is
JJ in mock drafts. And shout out to Mike Lombardi, GM Shuffle. He always says it like the mock drafts aren't even a real thing till
no.
Mid-February. But McCarthy was always like I saw him as high as like 9th or 8th, and it's
No
like
shot. No shot.
I hope somebody guys watch.
I hope the Giants do it 6, please.
Oh, he would look great in the Giants blue. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Scotty, Massett, they would love it.
The only nice thing I'll say about the Giants, those uniforms, those 90s throwbacks are classics.
They are, yeah, they should
beautiful uniform
all time.
And everything else they can rest in piss, but those uniforms are beautiful.
War Criminals, they made I spike betted them all week to the tune of about 1,500, and I still got some War Criminal spike bets out there for another 300.
You still wanted to throw up though in the beginning of that game, just watching Edwards.
I didn't watch a second. I have not seen a single play from
watching Edwards and Blake Corum just go up and down the field.
Sham. It's a sham. Yeah. It's a sham. It's a sham championship. And if you don't think we're having an emergency pod whenever that report drops, it's coming.
It's coming.
I can't wait. But good for Michigan. Good for my Michigan friends. Happy for them that they feel happy.
15-0. You know what's funny as a sports fan? You build up these championships, right? And like finally getting one. And it's always tough. Like, I feel like once you win it, and then it's like you have like you have your moments where you enjoy it and you always look back on it. But like once the off season starts and then the next season, it's like the same shit. Here we go again in the cycle.
Well,
like,
no, what's tough
this coach is leaving, this guy's leaving,
And it's kind of like how the Astros, like I have to think it's kind of like being an Astros fan where it's like, oh, we won the World Series, but there's this huge cheating scandal.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So
yeah.
it's always tended. Oh, you won.
People are going to shit on some. Yes.
Yeah.
Chiefs fans had to listen to us cry last year about that penalty. I mean, everybody's going to have something.
Well, I mean, penalties are one thing. Like in the course of a game, like whatever you want to argue a penalty, but like a scandal or some sort of cheating element to it.
Oh yeah,
that's a whole different another.
Well, Patriot fans with Deflategate, same thing. I mean, they had to hear it the whole time,
and they still do.
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like it'll be that way for eternity. I'll be on the front lines of that battle, fighting the good fight.
Well, why Harbaugh escapes to the NFL?
Yeah, he's going full Pete Carroll. It's gonna be so delicious to see what happens with that football program.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with the head coach, where they go with the recruiting.
I think they already got their head coach. If you're not giving Jerome Moore the head coaching position, I don't know what you're doing.
And listen, anybody that can put on an Oscar-winning performance like that, crying, deserves it.
I mean, he got supporting actor.
Yeah, General Hospital. He'll be Forget about it.
Oh, I mean,
days of our lives over here.
He's going to be there with Susan Lucci.
Some say Harbaugh's escaping because he doesn't want to deal with Kyle Monangai next year and Greg Schiano.
I've heard that. I've heard that on Twitter. I did read that. Yep.
Listen, there's only one or two schools that had them down 7-0. That's all I'll say.
Oh, yeah. It's true. As you take a sip from your Canada Dry Zero Sugar, those are delicious. Those are delicious. They are
straight poison in them, but they're good.
Oh yeah, pure poison. Yeah. Well, what's worse, drinking like a 12-pack of those or taking one of your sodium tablets?
Let's not discuss that.
Okay.
when my cardiologist was like, "This is something an Olympic athlete should taking.
I still
Not
don't
a heavy
understand why
set.
you were taking the sodium tablets. I'll never know.
And don't watch YouTube. Don't watch keto videos on YouTube.
Okay.
High blood pressure the whole night. And what a scene. What a scene.
You're like, oh, I'm doing so good. I'm going on my walks, but I just can't lose any weight.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently the sodium was apparently that was a trigger.
Yeah, you're taking 8,000% of your daily value of sodium. Yeah, it's really good. Let's get to the NFL.
He
We got
literally started laughing in the office.
That's not good. Let's get to NFL this weekend. We start on
Yeah, we'll
Saturday.
open it up Saturday. Why couldn't they just put the Eagle game on this Saturday and get this shit over with? But no,
It
Cleveland
helps
and
you
Houston.
out.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, Cleveland Houston first game. Listen, this to me is a classic matchup. Cleveland is the hot team that everybody loves. But one thing in these games, Cleveland has gotten down. Flacco has made some throws. I got to tell you, I don't know how you feel in this game. I absolutely love Houston getting 2.5 at home. They're a young team. The season is already a success for them. It doesn't matter what happens. This is house money all the way. Stroud, the big pressure last week going into Indianapolis. I know it's not a great Indianapolis team, but going on the road as a rookie like that and winning the division. Now you come home, Cleveland comes in. Now, Cleveland's defense is going to pose a lot of threats to Stroud. Not saying they're not. Jim Schwartz is a hell of a defensive coordinator. I love the guy. Flacco's playing decent football, but I think DeMeco Ryans will have something for Flacco. I like this Houston team, and I love them at 2.5, and I'm going money line.
I'm against you here. I love the Brownies. I love the Brownies. I think they are such a complete team, defensively, offensively. Flacco's slinging it. Flacco. This is in a dome, so you're not playing outside. So Amari Cooper is full go, and quite frankly, they've found ways to score without Cooper being on the field. I really think Njoku's really turned up.
Yeah, he looks good.
Ford,
He's finally hit his stride.
Ford is really nice. He's a nice complimentary back.
Stefanski's done a really good job.
By hook or by crook. And I think I like this Browns team a lot. I think this line is crazy.
You think the Browns make it to the AFC Championship game?
Who would they win if they win this game?
They are the, 5 seed?
No, I thought they were the...
I think they're the 5 seed.
I got to pull it up here. Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
5 seed, yeah. So they would.
So most likely they're going to the Deuce, the Bills, right?
Yeah,
And that'd be a hell of a matchup.
I'd like Cleveland there. I think they got a real shot at the championship. I really do. I like the team.
Yeah. Can you imagine a Cleveland-Detroit Super Bowl?
If that happens, World War III starts within the hour.
Listen, if
that game will
Philadelphia
never
can get
be played.
one of those can.
That game will never be played.
Yeah. Second game Saturday on Peacock, all the outrage. Listen, just stream it or stop being poor. It is what it is. Kansas City versus Miami.
There you go with your elitist season ticket holder talk.
This is yeah. I mean, this is a really interesting game. Miami is battered and bruised coming into this game. Their offense is really, really boggled down here. This defensive line is terrible. This Chiefs defense played really well all year. The only reason the Chiefs are in this spot at home is because of that defense. Chiefs offense hasn't looked great, but boy, Miami in this spot. Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City. What's the high going to be? They said 7, 8 degrees or something like that. I mean, it's going to be
all day. Tua in
the
cold.
It feels like it. It feels like it, doesn't it? But I like the way that Dolphin defense is playing. You know, they played a hell of a game Sunday night versus Buffalo. if the Miami offense could do anything, Miami wins that game Sunday, and they're hosting.
Look, and here's the other thing: Miami's coming off a really tough game. I mean, they played their starters,
Yes,
right?
Well, it's
They
for the
were
division.
getting after it. Yeah, they were getting after it.
Yeah.
And now you got to go to the Chiefs in the frozen tundra and go play a team that pretty much is rested. They rested everybody, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, Big Red loves to rest. Yeah, he got the guys.
Oh yeah,
rested.
yeah. They rested. They're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs win, but man, this Chiefs team is a paper tiger.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like you said, I mean, like I said, I like the way the Miami defense is playing, but I agree with you. I got to go with Kansas City in this spot. I really do. Miami's just impossible to back right now. I backed them Sunday night. I'm off them, so they'll probably win, but I'm off of Miami. I hate the way they're going into this game.
Steelers Bills.
Steelers Bills, the Peacock game. I mean, not the Peacock game, the Sunday at 1 game. This should have been the Peacock game. Who the hell wants to watch the Steelers offense? Horrific. Tomlin did a hell of a job getting him to 9 wins, I guess. I think if you're a Steeler fan, you'd rather a season where you win 2 or 3 games and you get a quarterback. But listen, the Steelers defense is phenomenal. I mean, one of the best in the league, but now they're going to miss TJ Watt. I mean, you know, Tomlin's a hell of a coach, hell of a defense. But if I'm a Steeler fan, it's sickening. It's sickening that you don't have a quarterback with this team because the wide receivers aren't bad at all.
And the running game's
Johnson
pretty
and George
solid.
Pickens, good running
game's pretty solid. Mason Rudolph has played exceptionally much better.
He stinks.
But
he stinks.
He's not great, but compared to Pickett or Trubisky, I mean, he looks like Brett Favre.
Terrible. Yeah, baby hands is terrible.
But the fact this line is 10 and it hasn't budged an inch.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it tells you everything you need to know.
This has got 38-10 written all over it.
Very much so. Very much so. I'm just surprised the Steelers did make the playoffs, but you know.
Listen, Tomlin's one of the best in the NFL, man. I mean, the guy just grinds.
And they wanted to fire him. They wanted to fire him.
I understand as a fan because he had a lot of success early. Now he got the 1 Super Bowl, but I understand it's a lot like people blame Eagle fans when they had the thing with Andy Reid. But when you have that success, and then after a while, it's just wild card after wild card, maybe mix in a division with a loss.
Yeah, but you're getting to the playoffs. You're talking to somebody who had to live through Matt Patricia in a garbage bag.
That's fine, but now as
Jim Schwartz, who amazing coordinator,
great coordinator, terrible head coach. Yes, and I understand that. But
as go down the list, Jim Caldwell wearing 2 watches. What time is it? Don't know. They're both wrong.
I understand your argument, but let me ask you a question. You know, let's say the Lions now go on a 6-7 year run, 8-year run, where it's the playoffs consistently, championship games. Maybe you get to a Super Bowl, but then after the Super Bowl, after that, it's wild card, mix in with a division. You're never getting past the first or second.
It's all about getting to the Super Bowl. It's all about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what the Steelers have won 6. They want to get back.
What is it? We're closing in on 70 years, almost 70 years.
Listen, I understand. As an Eagle fan, I totally understand.
It's never happened. And the 1 year we got close, Brett Favre was a rookie with the Packers, and that didn't end well. But you know, who remembers? Who cares, right?
I understand. You could say Steeler fans are spoiled. Yes, they've seen a lot of Super Bowls, but and they're
in the playoffs, and he runs a good ship. It's just you got to be. I thought they reached.
It's not up to their standard.
I thought they reached for Kenny Pickett, and if they get back to drafting well and managing their cap and managing, because I mean that's what it is. You just got to hit on your quarterback.
Yes.
Right.
Drafting Kenny Pickett would be like in this year's draft if you just had J.J. McCarthy in the first round.
Like, look what the Lions did. If the Lions got rid of Stafford and they just said, we're just going to take a shot on a quarterback. Instead, they said, no, we'll take Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And then they formulated a team around Jared Goff and what he does well.
Yes.
And now, but that's good. personnel management. That's good team planning.
Absolutely.
I just
Absolutely.
don't feel like the Steelers do it at a ton of positions, just not the quarterback.
No, just not the quarterback. You're right. I mean, and honestly, look at Dallas and Philadelphia. You know, Dallas takes Dak in the fourth round, but they build up good offensive line. They get CeeDee Lamb. You know, they had Zeke there for a long time with them. Pollard, I don't think is that good, really. I don't think he's had a great year, but they built around Dak, and Dak got better. The same thing with the Eagles. They drafted Hurts, put a good line around him. Finally got a good receiver in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You got to build around these quarterbacks that aren't the Mahomes. They're not, they're not going to carry the team, but they're good with a good supporting cast.
Let's go to Packers at America's team. It's the liberal America, the left America.
Awful.
Dallas Cowboys line 7.5 here for the boys hosting the Pack. I heard something really poignant the other day. That's a big word for meaning important, retrospective, thoughtful. Cowboys, this game opened at 7. A lot of money pushed it to 7.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at 7.5. I'm surprised it's not at 9.
I'll tell you, I don't think it would get that high up, but for it to
Really?
go from 7 to 7.5, oh yeah.
Mm.
I think this is Vegas's way of telling you, like, the boys win this and they win it handily.
Oh, I think so. I would love nothing more on Sunday afternoon to watch this team rot at home in front of those miserable scumbag fans. But listen, I mean, Green Bay in this spot. I like the way Jordan Love is playing. I think he's had a great first season as the starter. Listen, anytime you have a receiving core with Bo Milton and Jalen Reed, some say the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen of the Big Ten. I mean, listen, you can't have two better receivers than those two.
I mean, are they not the best wide receiving group in the entire NFL?
Pretty much.
They're right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's just no way I could see Dallas losing this football game. Joe Barry and this Green Bay defense is horrific. This team lost to Tommy DeVito.
They do really well against teams the first time, and they'll continue it the second time.
Yeah.
If they get blown out by you the first time, they make adjustments.
Yeah.
They haven't played the Cowboys yet this year.
The only prayer that Green Bay has is McCarthy if he's eating the mayo again out of the jar or in the middle of the game, because McCarthy tends to just make the dumbest decisions in like under 2 minutes, like he did in that Lions game when he refused to run the ball. I mean, he'll do some wild shit, McCarthy. But he's actually done well this year calling the offense. I hate to say it, but Dak's had his best season probably in the NFL.
Well, I think McCarthy understands the game much better, and Kellen Moore could. I mean, he's the human joystick. I mean,
yeah.
he doesn't know how to call an offense. You're seeing it out in San Diego. He doesn't, or L.A., whatever.
And one thing about McCarthy, he never got any kind of credit in Green Bay because obviously it was everybody said it's all Rodgers. Well,
to a point, that's probably true.
Yeah. But he's done a good job this year. You got to give it to the guy. I mean, They came back. They won the East. It pains me to say it. But listen, I mean, they deserve nothing. But, listen, they had a good season. I can't say they didn't.
Now, it's interesting, Roberto. The NFL saved the 2 primetime games, the 2 big games of the weekend.
The best.
We'll start with my Motor City Kittens laying 3.5 at home Sunday night.
Down to 3 now.
National television. That I think the get-in price is like $1,300 for like a standing room only ticket.
Is that in Detroit? Is it $1,300 food stamps or dollars?
You can. I don't know if you can do a combination of both. Potentially a combination of both. WIC subsidized playoff tickets. No, this game's going to be wild. That stadium's going to be crazy. Great storyline with Stafford coming back. Rams are winning this. And I'm not saying that because I'm just a pessimistic Lions fan. Rams are winning this. And I don't think the Lions defense
You are
is going to
so
be able to
pessimistic. You're
stop the
insane.
Rams offense. I don't think they're going to stop them. I do not think they're going to stop them.
You're way too afraid of the Rams. The Rams aren't that good.
I'm afraid of Matt Stafford in a dome and two very, very good wide receivers. Two guys. Well, Atwell's been good this year. They can go 3-4 deep. Guys are going to get open. These guys make plays. They make catches. They get separation. They may not burn you down the field. The Lions necessarily don't get burned too much going down the field.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the guy created 5 yards of separation and he broke 7 tackles and now it's a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go in no particular order here. I'm going to go with, I'm pulling up the odds. Because I want to get this right for the good folks. Because I made some hefty bets already on this game.
I know you
Hefty
did. You
bets.
love doing this.
Yes. Let's go Matthew Stafford. Over 275 passing, minus 102. Let's go Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp plus 70 yards. 70 yards or over, minus 106. Let's go Puka Nacua. 80 yards over, minus 102. Anytime touchdown. Nacua plus 130. And I think a nice little side play would be Tutu Atwell plus 950.
Yeah. You're just loading up with everything. Now, are you allowed to celebrate if the Lions do win? I don't think you do. You're a Benedict Arnold.
I'm betting with my brain. Okay. Also, I'm doing a little bit of spite betting here. Now, I do think that the Rams throw all over the yard. So if you want to take the Lions money line,
listen, when Nick Mullins is
800 yards,
passes 50 yards. I told you the Lions and the Eagles.
They converted a 3rd and 30.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is seriously.
I hear. Listen, I'm right with you. We are identical defenses, decent defensive lines who aren't playing great.
Tyler Higbee also plus 450 for anytime touchdown. Throwing that out there.
You know, this is a Rams team. This is a Rams team that went to the Meadowlands and should have lost to the Giants.
Was it outside?
Yes.
Okay, Matthew Stafford not as good outside as he is inside.
This is a team that almost blew the game to Washington and let Jacoby Brissett go up and down the field.
A running quarterback.
Let me ask you a question. Lions lose Monday morning. Goff, big interception late. Does Detroit want Goff out, or are they all in on Goff?
It depends on what his contract situation. And what's the you're not high enough to get somebody in the draft.
No, I'm just saying the fan base.
Well, the fan base that hasn't hung themselves, I think they're fine with Goff.
Okay.
You got to understand that Goff is going to cost you some games. He has this year, but he's also going to get you some wins.
Oh, I told you, to me,
what are you getting that's
above
better?
A game manager?
What are you getting that's better? And that's really the point at this juncture. And
what is the headline? What is the headline Monday in Detroit if they win? What's the headline if they lose? What's the biggest thing?
If they win, that would mean they're going to Dallas, correct?
Yes.
Lions ready to check in at Dallas. Because call back to the okay. I thought you would appreciate that.
Love it. Yes.
If they lose, 17 dead in downtown Detroit riot.
Love it.
Yeah, you gotta love it. I mean, it's happening, one or both. Let's get to the big game.
Let's get to the main event.
Everybody's got their
Can't wait.
sights set on.
Can't wait. How to make it Monday night.
Rob and Stu show is I mean, when you talk about serious journos, capital J, we should probably start applying for press credentials here.
Yes. We will be in the building in Tampa. I will be in the building in Tampa Monday night.
Yep. Big weekend. First, before we talk about the game, walk us through the weekend trip. I mean, it's going to be electric.
Me and Bob Friday, we are leaving. We are headed down. We're going to Gulfstream Saturday. Getting the horse racing in over there. My uncle's meeting us. Sunday, we'll be going down to Tampa Bay Downs, of course. Do the Florida trip. My uncle lives in Naples. Go by his place. See the fam. And then Monday, just an all-day buildup to this disaster of a season. Disaster. I've known it for a while. I've been saying since week 4 or 5, there's something wrong with this defense. Do not trust the defense. The offense, still a top 10 offense, not as good as they need to be, but you knew they were going to take a little bit of a step back off last season. They weren't going to hit on all cylinders like they did. Now, Hurts, to me, has been decent this year, not great. The turnovers have been horrific. The interceptions, the fumbles, the lackadaisical shit in the pocket. It's just, he's been good, not great, in my opinion. Needs to be better. The season's just been an object disaster. I mean, coming off the Super Bowl loss, every time we go to the Super Bowl the next season, they suck. I'm surprised they even got to 10-1, to be honest with you, but they were hanging on in these games, making some different plays. And the fan in you kept saying, maybe they're just finally going to turn it on. Well, guess what? After 17 weeks of football, 17 games, I should say, 18 weeks, this is what they are. They're a team that's broken on defense. Their secondary stinks. A horrific contract to Bradbury. Their linebackers, I'm so glad once they finally lose in these playoffs, I don't have to watch Nicholas Morrow play linebacker anymore, because I want to just hook my balls up to a car battery and just run it all night long. That's how bad this guy is at playing linebacker. They're terrible on defense. Like I said, their offense is okay because they can make plays with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They need some major changes. It's funny. I was this year, I brushed it off. Everybody say, it's big when you lose your offensive defensive coordinator. And I kept thinking, but this team's talented enough to overcome it. Well, guess what? They weren't. It really did hurt them. Losing Shane Steichen.
Are you not a big fan of Sean Desai? Sean Desai, not a big fan?
I could say some things. That would probably get me banned off the airways. But he was horrific. Patricia, I don't even know why he's there. He's running the size defense. Listen, I saw Andy Reid make the offensive line coach the defensive coordinator. I've been through some rough times as a fan, and this year you just seen it coming. I knew Stu came with me to the San Francisco game, and after the game, we're sitting in the hotel room, and I just looked at him and I was like, "This team's dead. This team is dead. They have nothing this year." I knew it after that San Francisco game. I just knew it. But I'm going to go down to Tampa. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to see the ship go down. Listen, I love the Eagles. I love the Eagles probably more than my family. I shouldn't say that. My wife's upstairs. She's probably screaming at me, but I mean, I'm not lying.
I mean,
you've seen my basement. You've seen me priorities. On Twitter. I mean,
oh yeah, your kill room.
I'm a grown man who's, I have an obsession. It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness.
The fact you're going all the way to Tampa for a playoff.
Well, listen, truth be told, we were going to go at the end of next week and go to Gulfstream and do this whole thing. So we just slightly altered course a little bit, changed some of the dates. You know what I mean?
No, that's smart. And
listen, get to go with my old man. We get to good or bad. I'm there with my dad. You can't beat it. I mean, we've sat through.
Now, is he the human Maloik for the Eagles?
My dad is the kind of person, he's always been like this. Like, he's a big sports fan, but he's the kind of guy who will just tell you right off the cuff, like, this team stinks. So, like, Sunday he comes over to watch the game. He bets 200 on the Giants. I'm like, you're a Benedict Arnold. You're betting the Giants. He's like, this Eagles team stinks. He's like, they stink. They're not any good. He knows.
By the way,
he knows. Me, I'm the fan. I'm like, come on, you got to be positive.
Can we get early predictions from Bombs Away?
Oh, he told me today they're going to lose. They're going to lose. He said
no, not that. Rutgers win total next year.
Oh, after the bowl win, 10 wins.
We're at 10.
We're at a New Year's. It's a New Year's Day bowl. There's not.
Yeah, I love Bombs Away.
Yeah, I mean, no. Like Barry Sanders right now, get on your knees, buddy, and pray when that guy's coming after your records. Okay, you're not
okay.
Those Oklahoma State, that's getting wiped away next year at Piscataway. Okay, get ready to learn French, pal. yeah.
Wow, that's bold. Bombs Away. Wow,
dude. As the kids say, the Romano family is standing on business Monday night in Tampa.
Okay.
No idea
I don't know what that means, but it sounds provocative.
I hear all the kids saying it.
Standing on business. Well, that's a great way.
Standing on business.
It's a great way to wrap up the show. Roberto, have a safe trip. Folks, good luck this week.
We will have me and Stu's dead bodies on the show next week if we both lose.
And we're on to cucumber lattices.
Yes. Barefoot Contessa, Dutch pies on the next Robinson show.
Yeah, it's going to be electric.
Yeah.
And by electric, I mean electric ovens.
Yeah. My balls in a vice grip on the next show. Okay.
All right. So for Roberto, for myself, take care, brush your hair. We'll see you after a while.